Welcome to my very first tree trimming video. So I'm really excited to show you how I trim my tree this year and give you a few handy hints and instructions on how to get the best out of your tree as well. So one of the things that I really wanted to talk about before we get started is that this flocked tree is much smaller than the big green tree that I would normally use in the living room, and that's because this tree is normally in our master bedroom. So what I've done to try and disguise the smallness of the tree is I've got it up on a furniture dolly here to give it a little bit more height. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend the top as well. So I'm going to show you a handy hint on how to do that. Before you do, make sure you've got all of your decorations spread out. So you've got everything available for you just to pick and choose. And then make sure that when you are doing your tree that you've got a lot of these like little ties. Here comes Honey. Little ties and also a lot of wire cut as well, because you're going to need that as you go. She couldn't get past because of all the decorations, so I'll just pop her up on the couch here and she can watch the process. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just, as I said, extending the top of this tree. So I've got a regular garden stake here and then I've just chopped it in half. I'm going to use these big ties. I'll take 3 of them just to pop them up. And so what I'm going to do, you know this top one's always really flimsy and you can't do much with it. So I'm going to pop this in the back here, push it down through the middle of the tree. Oh. And I'm just going to give it a little bit more height. I'm going to use these ties to hold this up. I might pop it to about here. And you're going to need to put one of the ties down in the tree as well, just to give it more security. It's funny because I've got the tree on the furniture dolly, it keeps sliding around. Okay. So I always like to start with the topper. I've got a few options. Oh, there it goes. I've got a few options. I really love my silver angel. I've got a gold and white angel as well for when I do a different colour scheme, but it might be a little bit too top heavy for this smaller tree. So I've also got the option of this star. So we'll just start with the angel and we'll see how we go. Pull this back to the centre. See how we go here. Okay. Let's see what some of this ribbon as we go. One of the handy hints, make sure you always have wired ribbon so that you can actually design it into the specific curls that you want. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start with ribbon. And ribbon is really important. I'm feeling like I want to pull her skirt out. I might fill that out with some foam or something a bit later. I'll see how we go. Alright, so I'm going to start with my really big ribbon. I got this absolutely gorgeous ribbon. It's got snowflakes on it. My theme around my house this year is Snowy Winter Wonderland, but the real theme is snowflakes. So you'll see that I've got these gorgeous crystal, or they're not crystal, but crystal look like snowflakes. And I've also got these silver ones as well. So that's going to be like the theme of the tree. So I've got this gorgeous ribbon. Oh my gosh, look at that. So I got this ribbon from Ronnie's. It cost me $32 for the roll. It's a 10-meter roll, but oh my gosh, the quality of it. And when you buy your ribbon, if you get really good quality ribbon, it will last you for the rest of your life. So don't be afraid to pull the wallet out and and spend a little bit on good quality ribbon. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to start by doing, I think I'm going to do like a double bow here. So make sure that when you've got your ribbon, you want to cut it on a corner, like cut it, make sure you've got sharp scissors. Some people like to do a dovetail and that's good as well, but I like to just have the diagonal cut. You want to make sure that you leave a tail. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create this gorgeous big double bow. Just so pretty. And then you want to fold it over. Don't worry about what it looks like too much when you're getting it out, because you can perfect it once you get your wire on. So I'm going to have this little dovetail. We're going to let this flow through, but I'm going to secure this. And I'm going to secure it because it's a really big thick ribbon. So I'm going to secure it with, actually I'll just do it with the wire. I'll take a really big one. So I'm going to take a big wire. This is just garden wire from Bunnings, which I've just snipped into different lengths. So I'm just going to squash this in, get a really nice tight hold on this ribbon. If you haven't done ribbons before, or if you only do them once a year at Christmas like I do, it's a little bit fiddly to begin with, but then you'll be okay. So you just want to tighten that, and then you can see that you can fluff the ribbons. Don't worry about this coming down too much because that's going to be covered by the next ribbon. So I'm going to grab another ribbon here. You all know that I'm, oh I might almost fell. You all know that I'm vertically challenged, so I'm going to pull this right into here, wrap this wire around, and just secure that wire like that. I didn't even need this wire, I used the wire that was on the ribbon. And then we're going to, alright, so with this ribbon, this is the start. Don't worry about how your angel is, it's just really for the height. You can position everything later. Oh my god, I am loving these snowflakes. Alright, so now we're going to work down the ribbon. Work down the tree, sorry. So what I'm going to do is you want to make sure you've got a really nice loop on your ribbons. So you're going to take it to a loop, make sure there's some gaps between the tree, and then what you're going to do is you're going to, I think I'm going to pop it in here, and you're actually going to use the tree branches to tie it in place. Now there's a really important reason why I do this, and that's because I don't want to be cutting my ribbon constantly and destroying it for next year. I want to keep it all in one big long piece. I mean, I will cut sections, but I want to make sure that I've got most of it intact. Then I'm going to come back in front here. Again, make sure you've got some nice gaps. I want to make sure that I've got these spaces open. I've got some gorgeous frosted pine cones, which I collected and got from various persons. Shout out to beautiful little Isabel Roberts who collected me the most gorgeous pine cones. I just have to show you, they're just so stunning. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come down here. I think I'm going to come back now in this direction just to have fun with your ribbon. There's no right or wrong answer to your ribbon, but I'm going to sneak this one in the back here. I'm going to give it a little bit more volume actually, so tuck this one in. I can't tell you how happy I am with this ribbon. It is so gorgeous. My god, I think it's the most stunning ribbon I've ever used. So I've got that coming down. Look how beautiful that already looks. And then I think what I might do here is I might just, oh, do I want to cut it yet or do I want to go one more? I think I'm going to go one more. And come back around to here. I'm going to sneak this in towards the back here. Use one of these deep branches to lock that in place, and then I'm going to cut it here so it's just hanging. Oh my gosh, how gorgeous is this? Give it a really nice angle of a cut here. Okay, then it all becomes about symmetry. So what you've got to do is what you do on one side of the tree, you've got to do on the other side of the tree. So I've got my double ribbon there. I want to come back in with an accent ribbon. So I'm just going to do a single loop for the next one. Oh, look at that, see? So what I might do is I might keep this for something smaller through the middle. I'm going to grab my other roll. Thankfully I bought 2 rolls and it cost me a fortune, but it's really worth it. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful this ribbon is. Okay, so once again, just give yourself your little angle cut. And cut that right through the middle of that snowflake. The wire in this ribbon is so fantastic, even my scissors are struggling to cut it because it's so strong. Just shows you the quality of the ribbon. Okay, so I'm just going to do a single loop here, and then I'll bring this out. So I'm going to tuck this single loop in. I'm going to grab one of my big wires again. Tucking this in. Oh my goodness. Make sure it's a really nice tight little twist at the back. Look. Gosh. It's just stunning. Okay, so I'm going to come in this way. I'm going to tuck this in super tight. Oh, look at that. I could even, you know what, I realise now I can even take my angel a bit higher if I wanted to, but I'm just going to jam this in here. And then I'll fix it in a minute. Oh, there it is. Okay, I've got that nice and tight. Got this coming down, and then I'm going to feed off this way. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh my goodness. Don't worry about the mess that your flocked tree makes on the floor. You can just vacuum that up later. Alright, so here we go. So, symmetry, what you do on one side, you do on the other side. So, tucking this in, coming in nice and close here, using this branch to wrap and hold the ribbon in place. Remember, you want to have space, you want to create volume with these ribbons. I'm going to tuck this one in here. Now, if your tree, I might go a little bit further back on this one. If your tree is going to be up against a wall, then you don't have to worry too much about getting your gorgeous primary ribbon towards the back. You can use other ribbons. So I'm just going to get this on, and then I will come back to you in a moment when it's done. So now that I've got both of the sides done with this beautiful ribbon, I'm going to go back in. I've got about this much ribbon left, about 70 centimetres on either side. So I want to make sure that it's even. So I'm going to make this the centre. So I'm going to pinch the centre. I'm going to come across with 2 loops. So I'm just going to do a 2-loop bowl. I'm going to pinch these sections together as well. Glitter this one over the top of this one. I'll make sure this is turned in so you can see the beautiful snowflakes. I'm going to pinch this right here. Remember, don't worry what your ribbon looks like too much when you're pinching it, especially when you've got a huge, thick ribbon like I have here. I want to make sure that they're fairly even. I need to just, yep, they look okay. I'm going to grab my wire. Give it a quick twist. And then once you've got the twist, you can. Now these are going to have accent ribbons running down them, so don't worry about the wire that you see. That's really nice and big. I feel like I really love it right here. So I'm going to dig this in right in here. I'm going to go in nice and deep. Find a branch and wrap that wire around the branch. Alright. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Okay, it's looking stunning. I really wish that these were a little bit longer, but that's okay. I'll fan them off with other ribbon. But I'm really loving this triple gold. I don't think that needs anything else up there. I might fan off. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my accent ribbon. So I've got two. I've got this lighter blue and I've got this really bright blue. So I'm just deciding. I think I'm going to keep it soft. So I'm going to go with this one here. So I'm going to do the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the chunk here. I'm going to go in and I'm going to basically flow through on either side. Do exactly the same thing that I did with the big ribbon. Again, I've got this gorgeous ribbon. I bought this ribbon as well from Ronnie's. Now make sure that when you come into the center of the bow, you twist your ribbon when it's got double-sided. You want to twist your ribbon so that you've got the sparkly side showing forward the whole time. So I feel like I'm going to just make these a little bit smaller. I don't want to completely hide. Hang on, let me just make these a bit smaller. You can see I just let my ribbon drop to the floor. You don't need to hold onto it. Okay, that's going to be good. I'm so in love with this snowflake ribbon. Alright, so I'm going to grab my step ladder, come back in through the centre, and I'm just going to jam this in. I said I don't want to hide because it's so stunning. But I'm going to jam this in the centre. Space for your florals, and I've got some gorgeous florals, and then of course my snowflake accents. So this ribbon is a little bit more twisty twirly. Still giving it the volume that it needs. Do you reckon I could get one more in? I might put one more in. And then I'm going to come across with the other side. Now I wonder if I've got enough in here. This is ribbon that I used last year, so I might have enough there. Oh my gosh, it's looking stunning already. And all we're doing at the moment is our ribbon. So I've got that double, so I'm going to come in here. I'm not even going to do a loop, I'm just going to tuck it in and go. So I'm going to tuck it in up here, underneath this ribbon here. You won't see that. Make sure it gets a good grip on the ribbon. Remember what I said, you want to cut your ribbon as least as possible because you want to be able to roll it up and use it next year. And you might have different plans for your ribbon in the following year, so you want to make sure that you've got it in really long strips. That's really key to having ribbon for a long time. I'm going to push this right into the back here. And if you've got the super expensive trees, some of them don't have the wire in them to use as your trimming wire, and so you might need to constantly use, you know, your little white ties, zip ties, to keep going. I feel like I kind of want to cross this over. Actually, because I'm a fan of symmetry, I am going to cut this ribbon here. I kind of feel like I want to do one more bow. I might just do one more. Set it in. I need to use that one. And yeah, then I'm going to let it go there. Okay. Alright, so I still have some left over. So you can see, oh my goodness, it's looking really quite stunning. Really happy with that. I do say so myself. I've got another fox tree that I'm doing on the porch. So I will probably use, look at this stunning one, just this beautiful silver stripe. So I'll probably use that on the front porch. Alright, so I'm going to do a single loop. Okay, so I'm going back in with a double. Now I'm going to pop this in nice and tight in here. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Alright, so once you've got your ribbon on, remember I'm just showing you the front, then you've got to go with your florals. Now I don't know, there's going to be a lot of zhooshing when you do your tree, so put things in. I'm going to have a little plate in this area because I want to get at least a blue flower in right in the center here. So I'm just going to have a little play with how it looks. Okay, so I prefer that. I'm going to stick a nice big ornament in here. I've got these gorgeous ones that my girlfriend Hannah gave me. I might put them in there, or I might go in with, that's it. Okay, so that's perfect. So you want to give your tree depth by pushing some of your really glamorous baubles right into the back. So I'm going to stick this one right in here. And I'm just going to get it to sit on this branch up here. So I'll lock that in place. And that will give that some dimension through the tree. Okay, so I feel like I'm going with the blue and the silver. I'm going to hit the white. I'm not going to use those ones. So we'll keep going with the florals. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot my picks. Okay, so let's get the picks on. I just wanted to see what those baubles look like. Now, in your order, you want to go tree topper, ribbon, and then you want to go florals and then accessory ornaments, and your florals include your picks as well. Silly me, I forgot that my picks were sticking right here while I was seeing what I wanted to do in this front face. Okay, so here I'm just going to pop that in there. Remember your symmetry rules. So if one goes in one side, it's got to go in the other side. Just pop this one. I need to have it coming through here. Nope. There's symmetry and there's too much symmetry. Okay, so I think that looks okay. I think this needs to, believe it or not, go up. Get rid of that yellow. You're basically going to fan out your picks. They always come in the shop all pushed in to create some depth, some space with them. This one's going to go in about here. Okay, so I'm going to come back down here, about here. Try and feed your picks along the branches and then you don't have to tie them in at all, which is always good. I am loving this colour scheme. So those of you that know me know that I'm quite a traditionalist. I normally go with the regal golds and deep reds. But I cannot tell you how much I am loving this tree. So I'm going to just pop this in here. And then, okay, so that's the picks done. So I'm going to go back to the florals now. You'll see that sometimes I'll just pop a floral in because I want to see what it looks like. Make sure you zhoosh your flowers as well. They're not going to come perfectly positioned for you. Take your time with all of this kind of stuff. Enjoy the process. It only comes once a year, so enjoy it. Just going to go right through here. Pop the silver one on top. I always order more than I think I will need, because the last thing that I want to do is not have enough. And then the other thing that you want to do is that where you've got some floral accents here, you want to be able to push these around the house. So if you've got garland somewhere in the house, if you've got garland going over your mantle or a sideboard next to your dining room table, you want to be able to pull some of these floral accents into that garland as well to create symmetry around the house. If you have one colour scheme, stick to the same colour scheme throughout the house, or you can choose a different colour scheme for each room of the house. That's okay as well. I mean, it's Christmas. There's really no right or wrong, right? Whatever makes you happy, that is what the rule is. Happiness. I'm going to come back in with another blue one. You'll know that I'll have some left over. That's because, remember, I'm not showing you the back of the tree, so I need to save some for the back of the tree as well. So I'm going to do this side here. I'm going to drop it right down into the bottom here. And then I'm going to start on the ornaments. Whew. What do you think? I think it's looking really nice. pull all of these out. If any of you are wondering where Kip is, I don't let him near the tree until it's all done. And of course, he is in the office working. Okay. Okay. So this one, I think I'm going to put about here. Alright, I'm going to step back and have a little look and see what that's looking like. Okay, it's looking really good, I think. I'm loving the ribbon. Okay, so all I've got now is the ornaments. I really want to go get some snowflakes on there. The crystal ones aren't doing it for me though, so I'm going to see how I go with these silver ones. Hopefully. I should have cut all the tags off before I started. Yep, that's going to do it. If you're like me, you know pretty much straight away if you like something. So I want to try and find space. I'm going to go down on the angle here. And these ones are good because I can kind of just push them over. So I feel like I'm going to be moving this one because I want to get one a little bit higher up, and then this will be in the wrong place. So this one will sit about here. So I'm going to get this one up here somewhere. Okay, I'm going to step back, have a look. I am loving this. So we only have our ornaments to go. And then of course the skirt. And I've got 3 options for the skirt as well, just to see what I want to do at the bottom of the tree. But wow, so we need a really super big ornament here. I've got these absolutely gorgeous frosted silver ornaments, which I picked up last year at TK Maxx. I can't tell you how much I love TK Maxx at Christmas. Hannah, my girlfriend Hannah and I, we just love TK Maxx at Christmas. How much, I just can't explain how much. I kind of feel like these baubles are a little bit too small for this region. So I'm going to pop them up a little bit higher. Grab some wire. The rule of thumb with your ornaments is basically small ornaments through to big. So I'm going to take this one off here because I'll probably, I need to create space here. I'll probably give it some depth. I'll probably stick this one right in the back there. This one's going to tuck in here. Just like that. We talk about clustering our ornaments as well. I'm just going to cut a few of my wires. When it gets to your baubles, you don't need such long wires as you do with your ribbons. So I'm just going to take a few of them and just cut them in half. Make sure you've got your handy wire snips ready. Makes light work. Okay. So what I mean by clustering your ornaments is that when you do a full display like I've got here, you want to put a lot of your ornaments in the same space to create, so you just want to fill the holes basically. That's what the ornaments are for, filling the holes. I've got this stunning one here. I'm going to put with it one of these gorgeous snowdrop, or snowflake I should say, ornaments. I'm going to pop this in here. You can have your ornaments hanging from the tree if that's what you like. My preference is just to have them super tight. I think I need to go in there with a little white one as well. So if I put this one here, that will give me the symmetry that I need. I just need to check that because I'm not too sure I'm happy with that. Whenever you check something, you're basically stepping back, having a look at the tree. I feel like I need to just move this one. The other thing that I've got to put on the tree are these stunning pine cones, which I then painted white. And then what I did, I sprayed them with some adhesive spray, and then I just poured Epsom salts all over them to look like snow. I mean, the Epsom salts will fall off for the next month or so, but these are going to go into like these little sections here. And I need to get some wire to feed that around. So what you're going to do with your pine cones is you're going to feed wire from one side to the other. You'll be able to find, and then you're going to just tuck the wire in to the pine cone, and then you'll see that I'll then tuck that wire, this dolly's driving me crazy, tuck that wire in and around to the other side of the pine cone, and that should stay in place. Oh yeah, I love that. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going with the pine cones because I realize how much I love the pine cone. So feed the wire around the pine cone. Remember, don't worry about how much mess you make when you're decorating your tree. That's why we have vacuum cleaners. And this is going to come in here. I'm going to hold this on like this. Oh my, that is stunning. Okay, I'm really loving the pine cones, so I'm going to keep going with the pine cones. I need symmetry, so I wonder if I can jam one right up in there. Let's see. That's Kip, you can hear sneezing down in the office. He's allergic to his work. Okay, so, gosh, imagine if I... Bless you, darling. Okay, I'm going to step back, have another look. Yeah, I'm loving those pine cones. So I'm going to put a few more pine cones on and then I'll come back to you. I finished putting the pine cones on the tree, finished putting the baubles on the tree. I'm going to give you a close-up look at what the tree looks like. now all we have to do is decide how we're going to dress the bottom of the tree. So I picked up this absolutely stunning snowflake tree skirt from TK Maxx when I was up in Queensland. I've also got the option of running a whole lot of this beautiful fabric across to create like a snowscape effect down the bottom. But the handy hint that I want to give you is make sure that you have plenty of throws around, which we don't need in summer, right? We need them in winter, which you're going to pack to create volume around the bottom of the tree. So I'll probably use like 3 to 4 blankets to create a bit of a snowscape effect. And then you always want to have like something, you know, around the bottom of the tree. It might be that you stack all of your presents around the tree, but I have these gorgeous little paper mache reindeers, which every year it's a tradition for me for them to look lovingly up at the tree. And so I'm going to put them around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little fiddle with the snowscape and the snowflake tree skirt, and then I'll come back to you and I'll show you how it all finishes up. Okay, so in the end I went with the snowflake themed tree skirt, and yeah, just position the little reindeers here. But this is, oh sorry sweet, this is the final product. So I really hope that you enjoyed watching me decorate my tree, and hopefully you got some great inspiration for your tree for this season.